All right, welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be going over Major League Baseball. Of course, it is the MLB playoffs, and we have game two of the Detroit Tigers versus Astros matchup. Of course, yesterday's game, Detroit Tigers won 3-1, and now the Astros find themselves with their backs against the wall, place that they've been before. But this is a whole different scenario, a whole different season and a whole different Astros team, and for that matter, a whole different Detroit Tigers team. Um, I will mention before getting into this, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. We appreciate each and every one of you. Like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell, and more importantly, comment down below. I want to know what you guys think. What you think of what I've said, the bets I'm providing, whether or not you think they're sound, whether or not you think they're just a waste of time, whether or not you're fading me, whether or not you're trailing me. Let me know. Help me improve the videos, and let me know what you guys think of my logic and things of that sort. With any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so we have game two, Detroit Tigers going up against the Houston Astros, 2024 MLB Wild Card Playoffs, and so we have Tyler Horton going up against Hunter Brown. Tyler Horton is a relief pitcher, so this is essentially a bullpen game for the Detroit Tigers. Now, looking at the Detroit Tigers bullpen, they got one of the best bullpens in Major League Baseball, and it's been that way for the better part of the season. Their bullpen is excellent. Tops in the league in FIP, tops in the league in strikeout percentage. They don't walk a lot of guys. So looking at that, from the surface, okay, you're looking at a bullpen game against an established starter for the Houston Astros and Hunter Brown, and you would think, okay, you know what, I'm going to give this to the Astros. This is a bullpen game for the Tigers. They really don't have any business being in this game. But don't, slow down, slow your roll a little bit there. The Detroit Tigers have one of the best bullpens in the major leagues. Hunter Brown, on the other end, I'll tell you what, this is the guy that's really turned around his career this year. He started off the season slow, like last year and the year before. This guy was a pretty highly touted prospect. I think a lot of people thought, this is the next coming of, like not Nolan Ryan, but maybe like a Verlander. He had high expectations, is what I'm getting at. Maybe throwing around the names Nolan Ryan and Verlander is going a little bit too far. But you get my point. This guy was a guy that was expected to do big things with his career, and then he ended up, really struggling and actually being the punchline for a lot of these major league pundits and a lot of folks that follow baseball around the country. So Hunter Brown really turned around his year, probably a third of the way into the season, and started to pitch really well. I had him on my fantasy league, so I did follow him a little bit, and so he's been pretty good. He's a right-handed pitcher. ERA of 3.49, 179 strikeouts. So he can strike out some guys. And he actually faced the Detroit Tigers back on June 14th, and he pitched seven scoreless innings with nine strikeouts. So looking at that, this is a pitcher that's, at least in that small sample size, has pitched really well against the Tigers. So we have a starter in Hunter Brown who does have some success against the Tigers in the past, going up against a Detroit Tigers bullpen that is one of the best in the league. So that's the dynamics going into this matchup. So what do I think? You know, who's going to win this game at the end of the day? Well, this is what I can tell you. The Houston Astros definitely need a good start out of Hunter Brown. Framber Valdez did not have a good start yesterday, only pitched into the fifth inning. So they had to use a bunch of their bullpen guys, some of their top guys in their bullpen yesterday in order to see them throughout the rest of that game. So Hunter Brown, they need at least 6, 7 innings out of him today. Um, the Detroit Tigers themselves, hitting against right-handed pitching, are not bad. They've been pretty good for the last month, and I believe they actually have let's see here. If we're looking at right-handed pitching away, they have a WRC plus of 120. So they're hitting better than average against right-handed pitching. Now that's over the last month. Of course, we do have that game back in June where Hunter Brown was able to show out and pitch seven scoreless innings. Do I see a repeat of that? Hmm, maybe something along those lines, maybe not as good. So if I was to give a matchup, of course, the Houston Astros are excellent against left-handed pitching, not quite as good against right-handed pitching. They're going to see an assortment of left-hand and right-hand arms coming out of the bullpen. Of course, AJ Hinch is, he knows this team, obviously coaching them before in the past. So if I was to pick a side on this particular game, it's really a tough one. I guess I would have to go with the Astros, but if I were to pick my best bet, I'm going to go with the under on this one, under 7.5. I think this is going to be another low scoring affair, pitching matchup, even with the bullpen game from the Detroit Tigers. I do like the under, and if I were to pick a side, it would be the Houston Astros. But I don't recommend taking them as the best bet just because the value isn't there. And I don't know if I want to take the minus 1.5. So I'm going to go with my best bet for the under. All right, that's all I got for you guys. And you can find that bet. I believe the best bet that I found for the under 7.5 for this particular matchup is going to be at bet 365 minus 105 is the best bet. Of course, I talk about plus money, but for these particular bets, when I look at some of these, like the MLB and NFL and college football, it's harder to get those plus 100 bet, plus 120, plus 150 bets in Major League Baseball. That's why I say soccer is such a good game to bet on, and it's just a good game to watch in general. But um, thank you again for listening in. I'm going to try and get out the bets for the rest of the games here, the MLB games, at least a couple of them. But please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit that notification bell. We'll see you next time. Peace out.